Hello everyone. In this video, we will be solving two-step equations, and this is the third part. I will put the link of the first and second part in the description box below. Let's take this first example right here. We remember that if we say solve the given equation right here, we're supposed to isolate x by itself, or pretty much we isolate the variable on one side of the equation. And so we go ahead and say that in this case right here, this is read as 3 multiplied by the quantity x minus 4 is equal to 3. So then we go ahead and say that this one right here is multiplied together. So we remember that the opposite for multiplication is division. So then we can go ahead and say that we can divide this first side right here by 3. And we can divide this side right here by 3 so that we are able to cancel out the 3 and the 3. So we are left with x minus 4 is equal to 1. Now, by the way, others would be comfortable if they put a boundary between the left side and the right side. We can do that so that you don't, because others are comfortable doing this because they don't want to mess up with all the numbers that are written in the solution. So we can do that. Others may not write the boundary. That should be fine too. So then we go ahead and say that this is x subtracted by 4 is equal to 1. Since we say this is subtraction, remember that the opposite of subtraction is addition. So then we can go ahead and say that we can add 4 to this and plus 4 to the other side, so that we can go ahead and say that this 4 and 4 gets crossed out. So then our x is 5. So this value of x will actually make this equation true. So that if we plug this back in, 5 minus 4 is 1, and then multiply that by 3 is actually 3. So we're able to make this equation true. So in this example that we have here, this is called a two-step equations because we actually did 2 steps only to solve for x. The first step that we did was dividing it by 3, and the second step that we did is adding it by 4. So this is otherwise called a two-step equation. At this time, I would encourage you to pause this video and try this problem out on your own. And when you're done, unpause it and check your answer. Okay, so we go over the problem here. So this is read as 2 multiplied by the quantity 5 plus y is equal to 4. So then we go ahead and say that these two are multiplied together. The parenthesis is telling us that. So then we remember that the opposite of multiplication is division. So then we can go ahead and divide 2 to both sides. We divide 2 to the other side as well, so that we can go ahead and cross out the 2 and the 2. So we are left on the left side with 5 plus y, and then that is equal to 2. Again, our target is to isolate the variable on one side of the equation. So then we go ahead and say that this is a positive 5. We remember that the opposite of addition is subtraction. So we go ahead and say subtract 5 from both sides. We subtract 5 from the other side as well. So then we can go ahead and cross these two out. We are left with y is equal to negative 3. So this is the value of y that would make this equation up here true. And this makes sense because if we have 5 plus negative 3 is a positive 2. Positive 2 times 2 is 4. Did you get y is equal to negative 3 for this problem right here? Good. Perfect. Now let's move on to the next example right here. We are given negative 2 multiplied by the quantity m minus 3 is equal to negative 2. As you can see here, we have a variable m. Again, we remember that in an equation, it doesn't have to be x. It can be any letter in the alphabet. These are variables. It can be assigned with different letter. So then we can go ahead and say that since this is multiplication right here, we remember that the opposite of multiplication is division. So then I can divide both sides by negative 2. I divide the other side by negative 2 as well, so that I can cross this negative 2 and negative 2 out. I am left with m is subtracted by 3, and that is equal to negative 2 divided by negative 2. 2 negatives will make it positive. So that's a positive 1. Again, others are comfortable in writing the boundary between the left side and the right side of the equation. That should be fine. So then we can go ahead and say that this is m subtracted by 3 is equal to 1. So this is subtraction. We remember that the opposite of subtraction is addition. So then we can go ahead and say we can add 3 to both sides. We can cross that out. So plus 3 as well on the on the right side. So then we go ahead and cross this out. We are left with just m on the left side, and that is equal to 4. So this is the value of m that will make this equation correct. Again, this is a two-step equation because the first step was dividing it by -2, and the second step is adding it by 3. At this time, I would encourage you to pause this video and try this problem out on your own. And when you're done, unpause it and check your answer. Okay, so we go over the problem here. So this can be read as -12 is equal to 4 multiplied by the quantity 2 plus p. Now, others are going to say, oh, the p or the variable is on the right side. Is that even correct? Yes, variables can be placed in any side of the equation. It doesn't matter. So I'm just showing you that it can be on the right side too. So as you can see here, we have 4 multiplied by 2 plus p in quantity. So again, the parenthesis is telling us that it's multiplication. Since this is multiplication, remember that the opposite of multiplication is division. So I can divide both sides by 4 because again, our target is to have the variable, which is p, on one side of the equation. So we need to get rid of this 4 and 2. So I divide this by 4 right here, so that we can cross this 4 and 4 out. So we are left with 2 plus p. And that is equal to -12 divided by 4 is 3. And then again, that's a negative on top. So we can go ahead and say that this is a -3. Now, again, our target is to isolate the variable on one side of the equation by itself. Since p it goes with 2 with it, so we need to get rid of this 2 here. Since this is a positive 2, remember that the opposite of addition is subtraction. So then we go ahead and subtract 2 from both sides, minus 2 here, so that we can cross this 2 out. We are left with p is equal to -5. So this is the value of p that will make this equation true. And this makes sense because if we have 2 plus -5 is -3. -3 times 4 is -12. This is a two-step equation because again, the first step was we divided 4 from both sides. And then the second step is we subtracted 2 to both sides. So this is a two-step equation. Did you get the same answer as this? P is equal to -5? Good. Perfect. If you find this video helpful, hit like and subscribe for more math videos. See ya!